So it's likely that you already have a long list of tasks that you're currently working on. Now these could be in a spreadsheet, they could be in a task manager, or maybe they're in another practice management app. Now a number of these tasks will be recurring, for example year-end accounts or maybe monthly bookkeeping. But if we're already partway through this task, for example the year-end date has already passed, then setting up a recurring task in Pixie will automatically default to the next recurrence, which could be next month or next year, depending on the task that we're creating. So what we need is a way of adding these work in progress tasks, ideally in bulk, into Pixie so that we can start to keep track of everything that we're doing. So what are the options that are available? We don't necessarily want to add tasks individually one-on-one. There isn't the ability to import tasks in Pixie, so what we need is the ability to transpose our tasks in bulk. So let's jump into the Pixie workspace and I'll show you how you can do that in your account. So when it comes to setting up your existing work in progress in Pixie, we need to do this using a one-off task and not a recurring task. And this is an example of why we need to do that. If I go to one of my client records and I'll open up this client here, and let's say for example that I want to set up some recurring tasks for bookkeeping and year-end accounts. So for bookkeeping, the way that I've currently got my template configured is that it will start on the 1st of every month. So today is currently the 11th of December, and ideally I'd like a job for December's bookkeeping in Pixie, but I also want a job for January's bookkeeping. So if I go to Schedule Task and schedule this task right here, you'll notice that the next one is set to start on the 3rd of January. And this leaves me with a gap because now I also need to create a job to finish off work in December. And this is why we need to use one-off tasks instead of recurring tasks. The same thing applies for something like year-end accounts. You can see here on the client record that the year-end date is the 1st of November. That's the year-end job that I'm currently working on and that I need in Pixie. But if I go to recurring tasks and schedule a task for a year-end accounts, the next task won't actually start until the 1st of December 2022. So again, I need to be able to create a one-off task that I can work on now instead of waiting until the next year that it comes around. So there's really a couple of ways that we can do this in terms of adding our existing work into Pixie. The first way that I think is the most simple is to create a really simple template that we can use in bulk for all of our clients. Let's say, for example, we want to create a simple bookkeeping template. I'll click on Add Task, and I'm going to call this Part Complete Bookkeeping. I'm going to leave the client field blank, and I'm going to save the deadline for the end of the month. I can then save that task, and then open the task by clicking on the blue link here. Now all I'm trying to do at this point is build a really simple process. We don't want 20 steps, we just want a handful of key steps that will help us to understand exactly the progress that's been made within this job. So if I add this subtask, I can then add another subtask here at the top, and keep adding a few very basic subtasks that will allow me to keep track of this particular job. Once that's been done, what I'm now able to do is save this template that I've just created as a template that can be used again. So by clicking on these three dots in the top, I can save as a template, and I'll call this Part Complete Bookkeeping. Once I've saved that, what I'm now able to do is go back to my client list, select the clients that I do bookkeeping for, click on Create Task because we want to create a task and not schedule a recurring task. Once I've clicked on Create Task, I can then search for the template, create a deadline to be done by the end of the month, click Next, and click Create Task. Those tasks have now been created on my to-do list right here. The same thing could work for creating some Part Complete year-end accounts jobs. So I'll click on Add Task, call this Part Complete year-end accounts, and say that I want to get all of these done by next March. Once done, if we save the task, we can then find the task on our to-do list and open it. I'll start to add some subtasks again and build out a really simple process for completing the year-end accounts for this client. Once we've got this finished, we can save this as a template again by clicking on the three dots in the top right corner and selecting Save as a Template. After that, we can go back to our client list and select the clients where this applies. So I might choose to use the filters here and say, for example, show me all of my limited company clients, where their year-end date is before the 1st of November. It's telling me that I've got no clients where that's the case, which is great. I might choose to expand that and actually just create this task for all of my limited company clients so that I have one. I can create task, choose the template, and now I've got tasks on my to-do list for each of these clients as well. So that's a really quick and simple way for taking your existing work in progress, building a simple template that will then allow you to transpose those tasks and create them in bulk for all of the clients that you need to add them for. So now that you understand how quickly and easily you can start to transpose your existing work into Pixie, your next step is to start bringing it all across, because the sooner you can add your existing work, the sooner you'll have peace of mind and better visibility over everything that's going on. Once you've done that, the next step is to set up recurring schedules so that going forwards, nothing gets missed, and we'll be covering how to do that in the next video.